Hi, everyone. Welcome. Happy Wednesday or hump day or whatever you refer to it as. It's the middle of the week. You have made it halfway through. We only have a couple days to go, and then you get to kick back and relax, unless you're a parent like I am. Then the weekends don't mean anything. It's just another day. But I'd like to welcome you officially to our first ever episode of WePlenish Wednesday. And since it's my first time on here, if anyone is on, if you can just let me know if you have any issues hearing me, that would be fantastic. But it looks like from my end, everything is working correctly. So hi, everybody. I'm Rachel, and I am going to be your WePlenish Wednesday host. And I want to give you a little bit of a primer of what you can expect each week when you join us here. So if you are a parent, if you're not a parent, if you have one kid or 10, if you work from home, okay, great, thank you. If you work from home, if you're a stay-at-home parent, whatever your situation is, life gets crazy. We have plates, proverbial and regular, filled with chaos. And I think all of us are seeking those moments of relatability. And whether it's cliche or not, I think so many of us relate to everything coffee, right? Moms make jokes about running on it. I mean, for me, it's not a joke. I would literally die if I didn't have coffee pulsing through my veins every morning, and my family knows not to even talk to me until that has happened. So I think that the topic of coffee is relatable in itself to all of us, regardless of what your life circumstances are. So every week we're gonna meet here and we're gonna talk about some of life's relatable topics. I'm fluent in sarcasm and snark, so hopefully you guys won't mind if I throw some of that in from time to time. But this is really gonna be a place for you guys. Hi, Lynn. This is really gonna be a place for you guys, for all of us to convene, have like a vent sesh, talk about the things in life that are driving us crazy, take a little break, maybe stick your kids in front of the TV for a few minutes. It's fine, it's fine. A little screen time never hurt anybody. Your sanity is more important. And join me here to discuss all of those life things. And I love to talk to people. So I'll keep going, even if people aren't talking to me. But if you guys want to comment and talk to me, I would love that even more. So hopefully we'll all get to know each other and have those conversations. But for now, what I want to talk about is instant gratification, and I'm going to tie it all back in a nice little package with a beautiful bow on this little piece of magic right here that I'm going to get to in a second, because this is the real star. This is the WePlenish Java, and I'm going to gush about it in a moment. But first, I want to kind of talk about the impetus behind it. So there is no, oh, wait, hold on. Hey, my kid is in front of the TV, iPad right now, so I can watch this. Perfect. You're killing it as a parent then. So we are a society that is basically currently built on instant gratification, right? We want what we want immediately. It's why things like Amazon Prime exist. It's why we have Instacart and all kinds of food delivery services like Uber Eats and Delivery Dudes. I mean, we don't want to waste time. We don't mess around. We are savvy. Our lives are chaotic. Our kids make us crazy. Sometimes work makes us crazy. Sometimes our spouses make us crazy. And we're always looking for something that is going to make our life that much easier. This is going to be one of those things, just so you know. If you have one, you already know. And if you have one, I'd love for you to chime in and share with the group, louder for the people in the back, because everybody needs to know. But with that instant gratification comes an expectation, right? So picture this, picture that this happens. Let's say you are getting your kids ready for school. This might or might not be hypothetical. I'm going to let you decide. Let's say you're getting your kids ready for school. Your house is chaos. The dogs are barking. There is some kind of substance on the floor. You don't know if it's from a human, a dog, or something that's spilled on the counter. You need coffee so bad, and you go to stick your little coffee pod in whatever you have, an espresso, a Keurig, whatever your coffee pod vehicle of choice is, and there aren't any. And you literally want to scream and murder anybody that is in your path because you have no pods. You didn't know you had no pods because life gets insane, and it's one of those things that sometimes falls to the wayside. Well, that has happened way too often, right? So the creator of the WePlenish Java It's a really, I love telling stories. So it's a really amazing story that was born out of swans. This little machine right here was born out of swans. Oh, wait, hold on, I have some comments. Yeah, especially if you have a newborn. Yes, I feel you. Coffee is crucial for survival. Preach. So the owner, the creator of this little magical box right here, bought a property and there were swans living on the property. And when he purchased it, he was told that his only responsibility was basically for the well-being of the swans to keep them fed and give them water and make sure they had shelter. Well, he kept running out of swan food. I mean, I know it's a very relatable problem because I have swans in my backyard right now and they're barking or chirping or whatever they're doing at me. That's my sarcasm if you couldn't tell. So he felt like, you know, there has to be a better way. I can't keep running out of swan food and, you know, it's my responsibility to take care of these beautiful creatures. So his magical mind worked to come up with an automated feeding system. Now, automation is obviously nothing new. We're seeing it at every turn. People are wearing smartwatches. Every single device they have is hooked up to a million things. People have smart homes. So this is like the next logical progression for someone who lives that life. And get ready to geek out because it is super, super cool. And I hate to sound like that person, but it really is a game changer. It totally is. So that whole story about the swan and the automatic feeding is what basically created the birth of the WePlenish Java. So this is the WePlenish Java. This is it right here. This is the black one. It comes in white as well. As you can see, the pods are sitting in here and it fits the Keurig pods and espresso pods and a whole other slew. You can look on weplenish.com to see all of the ones that it's compatible with. There is zero complication to hooking this thing up. It's basically 3 steps. It's going to connect to your Wi-Fi. So the first step is you're going to connect it to your Wi-Fi. You're going to go onto Amazon and pick your consumables, whatever pods you like to order. And then you're going to basically set it up to automate your replenishment. So we're going to go back to that scenario for a second where those coffee pods ran out. That will literally never happen again because what is going to go down is inside this, there are these magical laser beams. It's true that sense when your coffee pods are running low. And so when that happens and it senses it, it automatically is going to place that order from you through Amazon Dash, and it's going to send your coffee. So it's like a magical coffee fairy. You're going to open your door one day, and before you have a chance to even run out of these things that keep you running, there's going to be a whole new delivery for you. It's going to be sitting there waiting. It's like the swans are going to sing, probably literally. The skies and heavens are going to open up and you're going to breathe a sigh of relief because you'll never have to experience that running out of coffee because that sucks. Let's just be real. It sucks. It's not a fun situation for anybody, for the mother, the father, the kids, the animals. Nobody wants to run with coffee. So this little gizmo right here will prevent that from happening ever again. You will be set up for life, and you can go in and change your replenishment. If you want to change your pods or switch things up, you can always do that. So you still have control over it, but what this does is take it off your plate. It's one less thing you have to worry about unless you want to make some changes, which is totally up to you. It is one of those things you can forget about. You hook it up, you pretend it just doesn't even exist, and then the coffee fairy brings you your replenishment, however often you have it set up. So this is actually the first Amazon Dash enabled replenishment system. So for those of you who are super into tech and you like to have the latest and greatest thing, Mariana, one less thing to worry about. Don't we all need that? I mean, I don't know about you, but I have like a million browsers open in my head at any time. And so I can't, those little things that can be taken off my plate, I automate anything that I possibly can, because half the time when something comes to my door that I have on reorder, I don't even remember that I ordered it, because that's how crazy my head is with my children running around. Craig, do you have to plug it in? Great question. You do not have to plug it in. There are no cords. It is Wi-Fi enabled, so it just sits right next to your machine, or wherever you want to put it, wherever your coffee setup is, and there are no cords, because I cannot stand, I'm one of those people who can't stand a million cords everywhere. So no, Craig, no cords, no cords. Let me see what else I want to talk to you guys about. I told you the 3 easy steps. I told you never run out. I told you it's the first Amazon Dash replenishment enabled smart container. So, you know, the interesting thing is that I think in addition to coffee being relatable, technology, and yes, you can see its profile, technology and things like this really unite so many of us. So it's a very sleek looking machine. You're gonna see sorry that you get to see double of me because of the reflection. But this is what it looks like. So you can see how big it is. It does not take up much space at all. The lines are really clean. Craig, so much changing these days. Yes. So these are really crucial. You know, most people would look at things that are technology based as luxuries or nice to haves, but this is a lower price point item. It's $39.99. It is not expensive. And it's one of those things that is worth every penny because you are literally taking something off your list that you use every single day, probably multiple times a day. I don't know how many times you guys drink coffee, how many cups of coffee you have. Sometimes I lose count. Sometimes I have it later than I should. And then I'm like a lunatic when my kids are trying to go to bed and I cannot wind down, but that's my own fault. But it's one of those things that is in our homes constantly. We have company over. We have, you know, people in our homes who would like a cup of coffee. It's not just for us. This is something that is going to keep that part of your life running smoothly. I can't help you with the other part. I can't help you when your kids are like throwing stuff around the house or your animals are going nuts. Lynn, it keeps us stocked at the office when we're running out of coffee. Right, coffee is not an option. So that's another really good point. This is such a great container, not only for personal consumption, but in the office. I mean, think about the amount of people who are in an office environment, right? Whether it's a small business, a medium-sized business, even a large corporation. Think about how many people are going through coffee. And it used to be, you know, there's some companies that still do the old school pot of coffee. And then when you go to get one, there's like drippings or it's 3 hours old and nobody wants it. But most companies these days are on a system that uses some sort of pod. And imagine having something like this where you could reorder for your entire office staff and then nobody's mad, nobody's stealing lunches out of the refrigerator because they're all ragey. It's a really good solution. Eitan, how many pods does it fit? That is a great question. I don't know. Lynn, do you know exactly how many pods it fits? At one time, this is pretty full right now. It fits a really, really good amount. And I'll wait to see if someone on there. I know there's a couple WePlenish folks that are also tuned in. So if someone can let me know the amount of pods it fits, that would be awesome. I do not have the answer to that question. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Super easy, no cords, no fuss. Set it up one time and then forget about it, and you are set for life for coffee. So this episode will be a little bit different from the ones that will come. My doctor's office has K-cups in a bowl, and the patients make coffee all the time in the waiting room. His staff has to take time to reorder the coffee when they run out. They need this. You should tell them. You should send them to WePlenish.com and let them know. Mariana, does it go? I think your question got cut off. WePlenish depends on the pod. Keurig is about 45 pods. I hope that answers your question. Lynn, 40 to 50. Okay, so on average, depending on your pods, 40 to 50. That's a lot, you guys. And that's a really good point. I have a big mouth. So when I go into places like my doctor's office, I would be the person that would say, hey, you know what you guys really need? And I would basically give them all the information. So think about it for personal consumption, but also think about it all the places you visit where you do have a cup of coffee, and how much easier life would be, especially when there's that constant rotation of people. And it's not just you and your spouse or partner, or if your kids are old enough to drink coffee. I think I started way too young. I want to say I was like a freshman in high school. It's probably not a good decision on my part, but YOLO. Nespresso pods vary based on the lines. Okay. So, and if you guys have specific questions like that, WePlenish customer service is great. You can contact them online at weplenish.com, and they can answer whatever questions you have as far as the logistics or the nitty-gritty details like that. I will, as we get a little bit further into this series, there will be times where we'll dig into technology of it, or we'll talk about different features, but really we want to use this time to like kick back and relax a little bit. Life is really hard. We have a million things going on, and it's nice to be able to connect with people virtually and talk about some of those things. And yes, it's all going to kind of tie back to saving time and doing things that make our lives easier, because that is essentially what this is all about. And if you have one, like I said, you already know that. If you don't and you're curious, make sure that you visit the site and check it out. There is so much information there for you, and you can see tons of information, not just from the company, but all kinds of media reviews and stuff that will really put it in perspective for you. And like I said, it's not a big ticket item, so you don't even have to be on the fence about it. I mean, I would have no qualms if I didn't have something like this of ordering it immediately, considering the amount of stress it takes off your plate. Excuse me, Mariana, does it come in different colors? Right now it is in black and white. So I make the joke that not all decisions are black and white, but this one is, because it literally comes in black and white. And those are obviously the most popular choices when it comes to all kinds of kitchen appliances and accessories and all that stuff. So regardless of how your kitchen is set up, if you're one of those people who likes things to be matchy-matchy, which I am, like I get really angry when people bring things into my kitchen that don't fit, then you are all set, because either one should go great. It is a lifesaver. It really is, especially at the office when you're hosting. Yes, so think about that. We talked about that a little bit earlier. You're not the only ones dipping into your coffee supply. And so the more that you know, it's one less thing that you have to worry about the quantity and what you have. There's always going to be that supply coming in. It's always going to be refreshed. You never have to worry about running out. If we host holidays, we host every single holiday at my house, mostly because we're the ones who like to cook, and we're also centrally located, and I can't tell you how much coffee we go through. So if you're that kind of person who's constantly entertaining, or you're running a business where people are you want your people to be productive, and if they need coffee to be productive, you need to hook it up. Am I right? So this is the kind of stuff that we will talk about. And I want you guys, this is your show too. I want it to be interactive. I want you guys to ask questions. It will be this similar format where I kind of take breaks while we're going through to read the comments, because I want to make sure that I address everything. Oh, hold on. I'm an Airbnb host and using the WePlenish Java smart container in my guest house kitchen. Since I started using the Java container, I never run out of coffee pods. Such a great solution for Airbnb hosts. That is an excellent point. And Airbnb is another, technology-enabled business model that is so popular. And so all of these little bits of technology are marrying each other to really create just incredible processes. So there's really no limit to the amount of people that could benefit from having the WePlenish Java. And I'll show you from the side again if you're just joining us. Here is its size. It is compact. It doesn't take up a ton of space. And it's really, really, really fantastic. So each of these every week will be around this time. What are we at now? 15 minutes. So about 15, 20 minutes, depending on what we're going to talk about. And if you guys watching have relatable topics, time-saving topics, things that we all in our life deal with on a regular basis, feel free to throw them out there, and I will wrap them in however I can, because the more interactive this is, the more all of us are going to take away from it. But what I want you to take away from it now is rushing to check this out if you don't already have one. I promise you, you'll want it. And it is it's a no-brainer. It is user-friendly, it's intuitive, and it will change your life. Just like the original idea behind it changed that swan's life. Think about it. It's all magical. So thank you guys so much for joining me for the first WePlenish Wednesday. Like I said, we will be here every week right on Facebook. And I encourage you to check us out. And that's it. I hope you guys have a happy rest of the week and a wonderful weekend. And we will see you all next week. Happy WePlenish Wednesday.